Welcome to the Austin J. Haines podcast, now renamed Austin James Haines. It's time to get free, stay present, and move forward toward your highest aspirations in 2024. And I'm ecstatic to launch this podcast for 2024 as it evolves and grows to add more value to you. And I want to give you some updates on what's going to happen here in 2024 and how you can take advantage of this and make it even more convenient. And that's the great news. We're not going to be limited to a set time every week. We're going to be able to broadcast multiple shows throughout the month. They will be uploaded onto all the popular podcast platforms. I'm going to be showcasing inspirational people, places, and things. We're going to be focusing on relationships in a big way in 2024 because the feedback last year, I've gotten so much feedback, so many people reaching out about relationships and how we tend to struggle in that area. So you can be sure that relationships are going to be a big part of the Austin James Haines podcast in 2024. If you've been a reoccurring guest to the show, rest assured, I'm going to be bringing you that connection to presence, nature, and all the things that you've loved about the previous show. We're evolving. We know everything must change. Nothing blooms all year long. We must embrace the down moments so we can grow and evolve. I want to share with you a reading from a book that really puts into perspective, but I'm going to ask you a question. If you're in the live stream, you can answer this. If you are on the podcast, just think about it. Are you somebody who is shot out of a cannon in the new year? You are so excited. You have all your, whatever you want to call them these days, goals, aspirations, intentions, outcomes, whatever word, whatever thing works for you, use that. I'm going to talk about that. But are you somebody who's like shot out of a cannon, or are you somebody who's like kind of rolling into the new year? You're not into all this crazy energy that people bring. You're thinking, it's just another day. I've been doing all the things all year long. I've had the good habits, and of course I'm excited about the new year, but I'm just I'm doing my thing. Let me know what resonates with you, and that's really important. What resonates with you. Again, welcome. I am ecstatic. I am ecstatic about this platform. I'm ecstatic about what's going to happen. And I want to let you know that this is going to be on the road. And if you are listening live, I have a new microphone, and I'd love for you to type in the comments. I have a couple platforms here, screens going, and I'd love for you to type in the comments to let me know if the audio is good. I would really, truly appreciate that if you're on the live stream. And by the time this gets up to the podcast, we should have clean audio. But I will tell you, this is going to be a traveling podcast. One of the guests I'm going to be seeing next week, his name is Dr. Philip Mack. And he spent many years as an MD. He was a medical doctor. But as he spent all this time in his medical practice, he started to study holistic nutrition and preventative measures. And it became so impactful that he's now transferred from a medical doctor to functional medicine, holistic modalities, healthy lifestyle. We're going to start with Dr. Philip Mack next week. We're going to stream it live at 2 p.m. and then we're going to upload it to the podcast so you can access it while you're driving, while you're on the treadmill, you're at the gym, you got your earbuds in. I want to make this easy for you to access. And if this is something that you want to participate in, make sure you subscribe, whether it's Apple, Spotify. We even have our own website. It's somewhere, and probably going to be in the post wherever you're listening to this. But make sure you do that. Make sure you stay plugged in. Make this a part of your inspirational rotation. I promise you we will deliver, because I am more passionate about bringing you everyday people that are doing extraordinary things. This is not relegated to, everybody's after the millionaires and billionaires and all these people they want to bring on the podcast. But here's what I know. There's everyday people out there that are not looking for recognition. They do great things, or they have a mission, or they've overcome a major life situation and they were able to get free, live more in the moment, and continue to progress in their lives from a deeper place. Make sure you subscribe to this. We will be bringing you all kinds of great things. And as you know, I had the other show, Power of Pure Presence. We've done Flashpoint. We've done multiple things. But I wanted to put everything under my name because this way it doesn't limit me. I can still bring those things to you that you grew to like and that served you, but we're not limited. You can look for the shows out in nature. You can look for the interviews. You can look for Flashpoint content, manifesting the moment of your big breakthrough. All of those things. I'm going to be traveling and bringing you these experiences. I want this to be more of an experiential thing where if you choose to, you can just listen to the podcast, you can chime into the video, you can get interactive if you want, and you can take advantage of the various things that we're going to do. But if you are listening, definitely type in and let me know if you can hear me. I don't see any comments right now. Sometimes the comments don't always translate over, but maybe you can just like the post. I might be able to see that. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to share with you one of the things that I've read. I've read this like 3 different years. There's a book that I've been reading out of. I've gone through actually, this was the first time I did the first full year with this book, but I went back to it again because did you ever read something and you thought you went through it, like you've read a book, and then you go back again and you're like, oh my gosh, how did I miss that? Or it resonates at a different level. Well, that's what happened here when I picked up this book that I just went through. I went back to January 1, and I want to share this with you because it was really valuable to look at this. And again, this goes back to, are you somebody who's shot out of a cannon? Are you somebody for the new year? Or are you somebody who is, you're just going to find your way. You're going to find your flow. There's no right or wrong way, but let me read this to you. This is called January 1. It's in the book, The Self-Reliant Entrepreneur by John Janst. And it's a daily, 366 daily meditations to feed your soul and grow your business. But it's not just for the business owner. It's relevant to all of us. He starts out with the title, The Force of Nature, and then he goes into a quote from the 19th century, and then he comments on it, and he gives a question. I wanted to read this to you, January 1. Why should we be in such desperate haste to succeed, and in such desperate enterprises? If a person does not keep pace with their companions, perhaps it is because they hear a different drummer. Let them step to the music which they hear, however measured or far away. It is not important that you should mature as soon as an apple tree or an oak. Shall you turn your spring into summer? And let me know if you can hear the audio. Here I'm doing an audio check. I got a new microphone, but I'm going to read this quote again because sometimes you need to hear these quotes a couple times. So please give me a comment or a thumbs up that you can hear the audio. Thank you. The force of nature. Why should we be in such desperate haste to succeed and in such desperate enterprises? If a person does not keep pace with their companions, perhaps it is because they hear a different drummer. Let them step to the music which they hear, however measured or far away. It is not important that you should mature as soon as an apple tree or an oak. Shall you turn your spring into summer? And this goes back to, are you somebody you're shooting out of a cannon, goals, aspirations, outcomes, intentions, you're raring to go, or are you somebody who you're looking to find the beat of your drum? Well, wherever you are, I encourage it, but if you are the latter, I encourage you to find the beat of your drum, void of the negative pressure of the world or someone else or some other group or some modality. Because here's the truth. When you cycle through all of it, this is about you finding your way. And your way is true for you. And when that way rises up in you and you feel it, you don't need somebody to explain it. You say, that's me. That's the drum beat that we're talking about. Now, what John says, let's see what he says. Nature has no desire to succeed. And I want to add there, does the earth know it's New Year? No, it just flows and continues. Nature has no desire to succeed. One season inevitably folds into the next. A year marked by changes in weather, ecology, and daylight, no matter how much force we might exert to contain it. If we attempted to mimic nature, one thing is for sure. We would release the need to control any aspect of our lives. We would give in to what naturally needs to happen. This is a fundamental element of self-reliance. And ironically, by releasing the need to control, we eventually find that we gain access to greater control. Polarity is always at play. Paradoxes. All paradoxes must be reconciled. Let me introduce our live guest here, Mr. Joe Mattern. Joe, I'm glad you joined. I'm taking you can hear my audio. I'm trying a new way of doing this with a new microphone. If you could let me know that you can hear me, that would be great. I'm excited about your book that's coming out. That's very exciting. More on that later. Let me finish this reading here. Think about the last time you forced or tried to force something to happen. How did that feel? How did it turn out? If you succeeded, did the result last? Now think about the last time something came into your life by way of what felt like luck. Isn't it possible that your lack of control actually created what you characterized as luck? Your letting go created your fate. Today, as you journey through this book, as you journey through this year, 2024, I'm going to interject that part. Consider the many things on your path that worked out well for you, even though you didn't or couldn't control them. Listen closely for this tone, for it is your beat, the beat of your different drummer. I love this. I have a lot to say on this, so let's get the question here. John says, can you describe a time you benefited from luck? We'll call it we'll use Carl Jung. We'll call it synchronicity. A beautiful synchronicity. When was the last time you had a beautiful synchronicity that you had no control over? What did that feel like? You see how now can you see why I shared this today? Can you see why I launched with this today? Can you understand that this is about finding the beat of your drum? Can you understand that this is less about comparing yourself to others? Can you begin today to chart your course with an enthusiasm that rises deep within, and use whatever terms you want to use? You know, that's why when Joseph Campbell says, the author of The Hero's Journey, follow your bliss. It's not just a fancy quote that sounds good. It's a call to action for us. Because it's easy to say, It's much harder to do. Why? Because we live in the world that is so loud in our lives. And that's why I'm going to go back. How did you start this year? Did you shoot in like a cannon, raring to go? Did you tiptoe in and say, I'm going to find my flow? There's no right or wrong. What matters most is that you find the beat of your unique drum and feel good about your progress. And in that, you will get free, stay present, and move forward. That's in accordance to the uniqueness in you. So just to sum up, we'll tell you, I'm going to pronounce my book. I have a book coming out called Seeds of Infinitude. It's my first poetry book. And that's going to be not just a book, it's going to be a live event. It's going to be a live poetry reading. It's going to have audio, spoken word, music. Look for that. Go to my website, austinjhaines.com. Everything's there. Social media, lots of different things you can take advantage of. And then the Flashpoint book, which I see Joe is on here. Joe bought the audio book. And Joe, I'm going to share this because Joe is listening in YouTube right now. If you're on the podcast, you can look Joe up, Joseph Eric Mattern. Joe purchased the book Flashpoint Audio. He went through it twice, and within 1 week of hearing that book, he completed his book. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be an incredible journey, and I won't say any more until he's ready to talk more about it, and he will be one of my podcast guests, as well as other people. For right now, what you can be on the lookout for, Dr. Philip Mack next week. It's time to get healthy. I'm going to be going to his home and interviewing him in his home. Former medical doctor, now into holistic space. And then we're going to have Candace Donovan. Candace is somebody I went to high school with. She was told 30 years ago that she had 6 months to live. She overcame ALS. She battled that diagnosis, if you will, that she had 6 months to live. She got married. She had 2 more children. Incredible story. We're going to have that coming at you, and many other things. Ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Promote this. Everybody promotes the big names because everybody wants to have the millionaire and billionaire in their chair. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but we also want to highlight everyday people who are doing extraordinary things from a heart-centered place. This is the podcast, Get Free, Stay Present, Move Forward. Inspirational people, places, and things. You can expect a heavy emphasis on relationships, as I said, in 2024. I'm still going to bring you that power of pure presence in nature. I'm going to bring you the connection to history, and I'm going to be also sharing poetry with you during each episode. Although, let's see, did I write a poem? I'll share this poem that I've been sharing on the other episodes because I know it by heart. This is one of my poems. This will most likely be in the Seeds of Infinitude book, and then we'll share the poem. We'll bring this to a close. I see Jordan Thomas on here. Happy New Year. Happy 2024. We're going to move forward here boldly into the future. So I'll share the poem here with you right now. Traveler, how long have you been carrying your luggage filled with yesterdays? Put your bags down this instant. Take up the cup filled with this moment. Raise it to the sky in praise. Move it to your lips and drink the juice of this moment until it fills your heart, spilling over into your soul, creating a soothing pool of infinity that reflects back to you your own divinity. That's called The Traveler. It's one of my poems. And that'll be in the upcoming book, Seeds of Infinitude. We're right about 20 minutes. Thank you for joining me today. Welcome to the Austin James Haines podcast for 2024. Continue your quest to get free, stay present, and move forward. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you next time.